Like an event promoted through AI art or Rachel Zegler's career prospects, a film's opening credits often feel like they can only settle for mediocre. And yet, once in a while, we get something outstanding. I've already done a video on the best horror opening scenes, and after watching and researching, I bring you the top 10 horror opening credits. Comment with your own lists, and toss me a subscribe to support the channel. A quick primer: if something is borderline horror, I'm counting it. By the end, you'll see why. Anyway, my number 10 pick is Halloween 4. Shout out to the user Live Free or Die for recommending this one. The shot composition is well thought out and effectively creepy. The emptiness is ominous and gives us the chance to soak in the images and feel that breeze and abandonment. It looks like Halloween in January, a party long over, and we're left with the sad remainders. Yeah, the first Halloween is iconic and features on every list drafted by underpaid contractors who watch less movies than Jennifer Lawrence, but I don't care. It's great. My only issue is the shot of the car, which is clearly a stationary vehicle with water dumped on it, while the crew off-screen manhandles it worse than Disney with a beloved IP. That aside, Halloween 4's old-school rustic flair give it some edge, and it's an impressively arranged mood setter that I really enjoy. Next is Split. It's a simple gimmick of repeated, scattered credits emulating the main villain's multiple personalities. My god, the music. Those low guttural strings are a great representation of the visuals, and I don't think they could have done it better. The instant this thing starts, it's like a damp cloth is draped on you. Props to showing the character being dragged, as it makes us feel like we're being pulled into something terrifying as well. Where are we going? A dungeon? A cult? Lizzo's acting? Who knows? I respect opening credits that can feel like an artsy sequence, and yet still also propel the plot forward. Doing two jobs at once. Cool as hell. Next is The Purge. The film is one of the biggest letdowns I've seen, in that the concept is interesting and the execution is mid. A yearly 24-hour period where all crime is legal? Sign me up. Oh, we just got a typical home invasion movie with stupid masks and a baby Skrillex. Cool. However, you won't hear me dissing the credits because they're awesome, comprising of cam footage showcasing various acts of violence. I like the variety of the violence. Some are group beatdowns, others are solitary murders, which helps show how widespread this is. Some of the footage looks real. The song, a version of Clair de Lune by Debussy, works well, but that's the thing. Clair de Lune always works well. It's used so damn much. But asking studios not to beat songs into the ground is like asking Marvel shows to stop emasculating male characters. They see the opportunity and are just like, ugh, they can't help themselves. Its use makes the sequence a little less special, but certainly still effective, and without a doubt is the highlight of the film. Number 7 is The Shining. When things are this simple, each decision is paramount. And the smartest decision here is making the credits roll up rather than fade in and out. The credits and the car are moving in the same direction, so the overall movement is stronger, and if we want to dig a little deeper, by focusing on movement, The Shining highlights just how far the characters are traveling. We aren't sure where they're headed, but we know it's distant, isolated, and as the trees turn into mountains, we see that these people are surrounded by snow. Add in the blurps and blops of eerie electronic notes, and you know this trip isn't going to end well. I'm not picking scenes where the credits are superfluous. It can't be a scene that just happens to have credits, if that makes any sense. My number 6 pick, Psycho, sports the most necessary credits on this list. The words and the graphics are integral to each other to create this furious chaos. I like the line work, and especially how the title shifts for a moment, However, it's really the music that carries this. You could have a black screen and this would still be engaging. The melodies threaten violence, and the sound mixing does likewise. It's so thunderously loud, and I swear the mics are even a bit blown out at points. I can't sum it up much better than it coming across like a physical attack. The second of my Hitchcock pair, The Birds, is number 5. The credits are fairly basic, large words, while a murder of crows fly past the camera. But there's something so, lethal about it. The speed of the crows for one thing, and the racket they're creating. The camera doesn't cut, implying that these are all new birds. It's a swarm that we, the audience, are caught in the middle of. The words themselves pop in and out, almost as if being consumed. That's a lot going on for something this simplistic, and it really worked on me. I'd love to see this style used more often, because I think it's great. Next is American Psycho. Since the plot is about a selfish yuppie with depraved behavior, it's perfect that this intro also serves as a marriage of bloodlust and wealth. In fact, it starts out a little creepy, with the fuzzy ambient background, the blank screen, and those blood drops syncing with the plucked strings. But as it continues, the blood becomes icing, and we are greeted with fruit and meat. And then finally we move through an opulent restaurant that charges so much for so little, I would have thought it was LA, except you don't hear the crackheads outside. 3 perfect stages: horror, horror/wealth, and then wealth. The music ties it all together, and that final transition is brilliantly done. Of course, we are then introduced to the iconic 80s elites, the men that crypto boys tried to emulate by borrowing money from their dad to rent the Lamborghini they pretend to own. And I can't stress enough how impressive it is for opening credits to set up 2 distinct moods like this. You know you're watching solid art when it starts out with this much skill. I was instantly hooked. Number 3 is the 2018 remake of Suspiria. This is stunning shot composition. It's so good. Every frame is impeccably set up to show the environment, the situation at hand, the time period, and most importantly, instill a feeling of foreboding and tragedy. The way objects are shown, how characters are cut off by the frame, it's so precise and beautiful that you want it to keep going. Tom York from Radiohead delivers a wonderful song for the sequence. It captures the tone, and is good enough to listen to on its own. Just spellbinding stuff here. Runner-up is Climax. I told you some were borderline, and come on, I can't ignore this one. The movie is both insane and insanely well shot. The best decision I ever made when I worked at TikTok, other than quitting due to the amount of unprofessional and even illegal activity, was leaving work early one day to watch this shit in theaters. The plot is about a group of dancers isolated in a snowstorm that get drugged with acid. And that's important to know because these credits aren't technically opening credits. They occur in the middle of the movie, and that was such a smart call. The first half is all setup, character drama and dancing, and as the acid kicks in, the true nightmare and the credits begin. It's like the movie is telling us to strap in. The actual credits are a tamer version of Enter the Void, which is a huge compliment considering that's probably the best credits ever. The music pumps you up. The icons used for primary crew members are a fun touch. The dusty red floor marked with shoe cuts is an ideal backdrop. Both the sequence and when it's placed do everything right. Plus, it's just really fun. Before I get to number 1, here are some honorable mentions. And number 1 is 7. It's the creepiest scrapbooking ever. Yet, I'll still take this over someone's dream board. David Fincher knows how to get good songs for his opening credits, and this disjointed remix of Closer by 9 Inch Nails fits the visuals like a glove. Fun fact, someone filled all the villains' journals by hand. Imagine being tasked with writing the ramblings of a psychopath, only for them to appear on screen in the background for one scene. Thankfully, they decided to use the pages for this opening sequence. The sketchy font and intentionally rough editing would become a major influence on credits to come, and to this day are still thrilling to watch. There's not a second wasted, and at every level, this sequence does an excellent job at prepping you for the kind of world you're about to enter. One that is dark and fractured. This is a masterpiece, and I can only hope that one day another horror or thriller can match it. That's my list. I'd love to hear everyone's opinions on this one, so comment below. Say hi on my Discord, my Letterboxd, and enjoy this playlist of horror recommendations. As always, thanks for watching.